supposed to be presenting information on my FBLA, but let's be honest, grant writing isn't as inspiring as the connections I'm going to make for you today. I thought the idea of a change in our community would be more inspiring and beneficial. Our community. What is our community? On Campus 13 is our community. We came together with all different backgrounds, and now we leave as On Campus 13. We are known for being gritty and legendary and having a strong understanding of what growth mindset really means. During our 2 years together, we have had only the best professors with no adjuncts, each with leadership styles of their own. We still have one class left together with a professor we haven't had, but I have a feeling we're going to make it. In our 2 years together, we have learned from our professors how to do the following things. Our very first class on campus, we had to identify our strengths and weaknesses. We were categorized as analyzers, persuaders, controllers, and stabilizers. At first, we were all trying to identify which area would be the most ideal for a strong educational leader. But in the end, we learned that it didn't matter what we were. We realized that each of our strengths would complement each other's weaknesses. In our evaluators class, we realized that it is possible to get rid of the dead wood, but the only way that you can get this done is by documenting. We also realized that school law can be difficult to navigate, so it is essential to have Matt Carver on speed dial, and Trent wouldn't be a bad idea either. As a group, we have learned the importance of systems thinking. Within our own schools, we know that there are disabilities and laws of systems thinking that we must recognize. As we look closely at the systems we have in place, it is imperative to find the leverage points by looking at all angles. Using Plan, Do, Study, Act is the ideal format for systematic change. Self-reflection is vital. We must reflect on our own practices to help us grow. In Doug's class, he modeled this for us as he used a plus-delta chart at the end of every weekend. He made himself very vulnerable by opening up the dialogue for the class to speak openly about what worked and what didn't work during the weekend. Even though instructional leadership is important, it is important to be a strong manager within your building too. Even though we haven't had much training in this area, it is expected that you'll be able to manage your building. In The Principal by Michael Fullen, he explains that instructional leadership and management cannot be disaggregated. If there's one thing we have learned from Randy, it is that building relationships is imperative for a building to run smoothly. Creating authentic relationships with your staff cannot be overlooked. Being able to communicate and building the relationships with the staff will pay off itself in twofold. You must take the time to ensure that this is done. We're almost done. As you scan through the list of the different classes that we have taken, I'm pretty sure I have left some important aspects out of the synopsis of our 2 year stint together. We have spent at least 32 weekends together, which equates to at least 416 hours together. That's a lot of time. So, now what? We have completed the 12 courses to finish our master's in educational leadership. Where do we go from here? Was all this work done in vain? Did you just jump through hoops to get done? We're going to be like these little fish in bags. We can talk and get ideas, but we'll be in our own communities that we have to establish. The past 2 years, we have been able to learn in a safe environment. We have groupthink. We usually find ourselves agreeing, but when we don't, we know how to have dialogue with each other without arguing. We have our own community right here within On Campus 13. Now we know what we believe, but here is my question to you. Does your talk match your walk? We know all the right things to say, we know all the buzzwords, and we know how to jump through the hoops to get through the program. But does your talk really match your walk? You can understand why something works and why it isn't important, but it is a completely different task to actually implement what you know is right. As a future educational leaders, we must be able to take all the best practices that we have learned in the past 2 years and implement them in our buildings. We have to be able to take the ideas and actually put them into place. We have to build capacity within our building for this to happen. You have been a part of this community for the past 2 years, but are you up to the challenge to build your own community with your knowledge that you have learned? We will always have each other for support, but now we have to take it and put it into action. Hopefully you are ready to take on this challenge because that is what we have spent the past 2 years preparing for. We have to build. our own community